Everyone's looking through the looking glass, and when you look so small, you're gonna feel like an ass, you know. You know. It all feels wrong, kinda out of whack. Zoomed in close up, don't know how to act. They know.
Before that parade, and from about the time that I began to get involved in trying to have formal setups, it was, I would describe it as dismal, and there was sort of a desperation. Things had been set up. People maybe would meet in a certain pub. I think the tavern was used twice a week. It was sad. There was a lot of loneliness out there, a lot of desperate kind of situations, and they thought that if we were in town and we knew other gay people, that we must have been in gay heaven. And in the beginning it is like that, because it's such a relief to meet other people that are gay, because if you perceive yourself as being, your perception of yourself is so poor, and people were looking for love, companionship, friendship, validation, affirmation.
In the beginning, for example, when we started to try and set up a helpline to find a venue to do training, it wasn't that there wasn't any venues available. There was loads of places, but nobody would lease, rent, give a venue to anything that would be connected with lesbian and gay people.
We weren't part of the mainstream community. We wouldn't have necessarily been able to take an ad out in a paper to advertise an event. Some papers wouldn't take our advertisements. So it was very much word of mouth at that stage, and very hidden. Everybody knows everybody at the time. It was, you know, if they weren't out to their family, then it would be a concern that they might come onto the gay scene and meet their cousin. And of course we'd always say, but if your cousin's there, why would he be telling your family? Because he's gay, or she's gay. So, but it took a lot of reassurance for a lot of people. But it's natural, we know, in the time that was in it.
A few of us tried to get, we set ourselves up, called it a Galway Gay Collective, was the kind of cool name at that time. It was, to do any kind of social outlets at all. We had a cheese and wine or a bit of a disco or whatever. What we were trying to do was break even and get people to appear, and that was hard going. I would not really describe it as successful. I look on those days as a kind of glorious failure. Glorious because it was doomed, and a failure because we didn't really build a momentum up that we could say to somebody when they would contact. We set up a box number for people to contact, that here is something that you can do or you can come to. There were the times that we're in, you know. This was sexuality in Ireland in the 80s, you know. Very backward kind of attitudes, and people suffered for that, and we wanted to change that.
I didn't want to do it until I could walk on a parade where I lived. So for me, I thought, well, if there was a parade in Galway, then people would see it. And even if they didn't see it themselves, then somebody would, and they would be talking about it. And just to know that there was a group of people that were lesbian and gay that walked down celebrating gay pride in Galway, I know it would have made a difference to me, and I presume it would have to other people as well.
Myself and Mary Levade decided we wanted to mark Pride, which was the last weekend in June. So we got a big long stick, a bucket full of wallpaper pierced, and put posters up on most of the city centre lamp posts, so they were above the height that anybody could rip them down. And some of those posters nearly lasted 15 years. So we were trying to celebrate, well, at least mark the day. Meanwhile, unbeknown to us, Nuala was busy organising a parade. And about the Thursday before the Saturday of the first Pride, we realised we were both doing stuff for Pride, but we weren't together as a gang doing it. So then we joined forces and we had a parade and a pride.
We were going to have it on the Saturday because that was the weekend when Pride would be. So we only had 4 days. I said, well, what do we need? And Pádraig Brannock was asking me how was I getting on at the Garda station. He said, you've told the guards. And I said, yeah, but I have to keep going back and I have to put something in writing. And I think I did. I wrote, which wasn't good enough for them either. So Pádraig says, come on, I'll come with you. So he went in. I was beside him and he says, look, there's going to be a parade, lesbian and gay pride. It's at such time, such a day. Now you know. That's it. And out the door. So that was it. And that's how the first one started. I made little flyers and threw them into the letterboxes of people that I knew that were gay to let them know. And on the radio, Galway Bay FM, was just a little thing inviting people to come and help us celebrate.
There was 3 lesbians, 2 gay men and about 10 friends, and we met up in Eyre Square and we had a banner and we power walked down Shop Street and dived into the quays of old, and there was a lady trying to video us and we'd passed her by. So we had to come back out of the quays, unfurl the banner and let her video us.
I don't think I ever felt so many different emotions, so intense. And then not sleeping, because I was really excited about it as well. But I was also quite scared. I guess there'd be some violence or some horrible repercussions. And my gut feeling told me there wouldn't be. But I was still worried that there might be.
I was very frightened. We didn't know what the reaction was going to be to it. It was the first time any of us had ever done it, and we just didn't know what to expect, and I personally was very frightened.
But people were looking. Some people hadn't a clue what it was, because the banner just said Galway Gay Pride. Some people clapped, which was like, wow. And it was a bit surreal too, because I kept kind of asking myself, God, did we really do that? Did that really, at that? Because, when you want something to happen for a few years and then it happens, it's like, oh, great.
There wasn't any hassle, wasn't any eggs, there was no tomatoes. All the fears that you have beforehand were like, wow, that went down quite well. It was a positive experience. The first parade was very much groundbreaking. To me, it proved that we could do it and there was a need for it. And it then created a lot of discussion amongst the gay community about the need for pride. And some people were very positive and thought it was a great thing, and some people thought that because we were such a small number, we looked silly walking down the street and we should wait till the community was a lot bigger before we did pride parades. So it created a lot of debate within the community.